Morning, 10th grade. Yeah, a brand new book. We are starting with Mathematics 1103. And I hope you got along fine with your test yesterday and had a few questions. And if you do, give me a call today. I'll help you finish up the last book with any questions you have. So today I think we're going to do page 4 through 11 in this book. It's quite a bit of work, but it's very easy work, or it shouldn't take you long to do it, if I can say it that way. This is nothing that you haven't done last year, maybe not quite in this style, but it is identical to what you've done last year. And we're working with putting graphs or putting numbers on a graph. So grafting a line is what we're working with. And if I can just brief you up, you have the X and the Y axis. You always know that your X axis is going to be flat and your Y is going to go up and down. On page 4, I'll start with the first one. You are to put in numbers that will equal it out. So if you have y equals 2x negative 3, then you will put in a number for the x. And so I just worked out the first one. They actually have the first x axis. They want you to find out what the y axis would be. So they put 1 in the book. So you go 2 times 1 and negative 3. You combine those. 2 times 1 is 2. And you subtract 3. It leaves you the y answer of negative 1. So when you put the 1 in the x bracket, which the 1 is in your book, and you work this problem out, you can find out that negative 1 is what y equals. Now for B, just moving across, they put 2 in the x-axis. So if you go 2 times 2 is 4, and subtract 3 makes you 1 whole. So your y answer is 1. And you drop down to the next one, they put 3 in for your x. 2 times 3 is 6, subtract 3 would be 3. So your y answer is 3. And if you're grafting this on a linear thing, your x answers would be here, and your y would be here. You can actually work this same proportion out and keep it going. Let's say in the book they stop with 3, but let's put 4 here. If you would put 4 here, you go 2 times 4 is 8, subtract 3 would be 5. So your answer, your y would be 5. You could graph 3 and 5, and it would just continue going down the graph or up the graph. I don't know which way it's going. Yeah, part A, or the first part. The next one I did on your board is 1.6, and that's just the next part. You had the equations there that you should put in place, but there's one of them that won't balance out. So let me just show you. I did the first one. Y equals x negative 4. So they gave you, the first step they gave you is 1 and negative 3. So I put 1 here, subtract 4 equals 3. So 1 and 3 is a pair. The next one, I put the 2 here. 2 subtract 4 equals negative 2. And that's the one that's wrong. They have 2 and 2, I think, in the book. Yes, they have 2 and 2. This is not an ordered pair, or this will not work for this equation. Now, if you put 3 here and negative 1, you got 3 subtract 4 makes you negative 1. So 3 and 1 are an ordered pair. So this one here is the one you should have circled in your book. That is not correct ordered pair. In each set, there will be one that will not be an ordered pair. Yeah, I'm going to skip the next part. You are to put answers in there, 1 to 22. Actually, you can go on over on page 5. All those will vary. You just simply need to put numbers into those boxes that equal out. And if you, let me see how to say this. be sure to figure it out. Don't just guess at it. But if you, I'll give you this little hint. If you're careful and you think through, you actually can do them in your head. You don't have to work them out step by step like here. But if you get confused in your head, check one every once in a while. If you start doing them in your head, it comes real easy. But in case you get in trouble, we'll then work some of them out to put the correct numbers in there. I did 1.23 for you on the board here. X plus y equals 6. So the first one I went 3 plus 3 equals 6. So one of my ordered pairs can be 3 and 3. The next one I said, I think 2 and 3. 2 plus 3 equals, whoa, that don't equal 6. I went 2 times 3. I made a mistake there. So, please, don't count this one right. This one is not right. 2 plus 3 is 5. So I should have put here, let me see. I went 1 plus 5 equals 6 here. So I should have put maybe 4 plus 2. Yeah, 4 plus 2. And so my ordered pair is going to be 4 and 2. There we go. Wow, caught my own mistake. I went times there. Watch this symbol every time you have to do it the same. Yeah, now let's go graph these ordered pairs. And again, it's nothing new. This is going to be your X axis and this will be your Y. So these ordered pairs you can graph on a graph. Actually, if I'll push over and I've got them on a graph, actually you will turn over to page 7. We'll start on page 7. The first part of the lesson is boring. It's not fun. This is a much easier, or at least you see your work. In the other part, you just wrote down figures and you just thought in your head. Now you can see your work, see it worked out. So I did 1.31. I did the first graph on top of the page. They did not put, like my graph has got the X and the Y. They did not put those in anywhere. So you should just go somewhere in the middle of your graph, and I put a dot in my graph in the book on the graph paper. Just put a dot somewhere so you can get 0 point, and then work out your problem. So they say for the first one, graph the following equation by finding 3 solutions. You could do 2, and you can say, I got my line, but you actually need to do the third one to check it in case you made a mistake somewhere. The third one should line up. So I use, for the first equation, you have y equals x plus 3. And so you can use whatever numbers you want. I try to stay small numbers. If you stay small numbers, you don't get way off the side on your graph. So I use for 1 plus 3 equals 4. And then the next one, I use 2 plus 3 equals 5. And then I thought it was getting kind of far off, so I just said, 0 plus 3 equals 3. So now, here's my ordered pair. I have 1 and 4, 2 and 5, 0 and 3. So I come over here, and for the first one here, I'm going to go x-axis, I'm going to go over 1. I'll come 1 over, and I'll go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be actually the center dot there. Now the next one is going to be 2 over, and I go up 5. 1, 2, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be this far dot. And now I did the last one just to check it to make sure that they all lined up, and I went